going on, everyone? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? All right, Colin, I'm live, so don't say anything crazy.
Go to deal 115442.
Why?
To do a cash proposal, no sales tax,
I
a
can do
dock
that.
fee and our plate fees. I already created it, just need a buyer source so I can send it over to Joe.
What is it? 115 what?
442.
115 442.
It's on the two-tone Maybach. It's a 61.5 discount. Hi.
What?
Nothing.
Whatever.
We're good.
How are you?
I'm okay. He's live, so you gotta behave.
I can't do no sales tax. It's California.
It's a dealership.
Do they have a leasing dealer license?
That's what, I'm just repeating what he said.
I need that information before I can do it. Okay. If they really are a dealership, then I'm sure they can do selling price plus Ohio dock fee in their head. So.
Andrew wanted me to ask you if this was okay.
What are we looking at here?
No.
Colin, you got anything cooking there, man?
We don't need a notary.
Well, he's trying to save a step of having it sent to somebody out there to take to him.
We have to verify his identity.
Yeah. Okay.
Does she know who you are?
Can't. It's a loaner. Well, ask Matt if he's okay with selling it that way.
Because he's leaving Friday, not back till next Tuesday. So Friday till Tuesday.
Andrew could do an out-of-state interview. Ask him to do that.
I'm on it. Oh, sorry, you're the shit.
S, what's going on? How are you?
Good.
The live chat just is not working for TikTok, so
Delay Joe, you know how he gets.
I don't care, buddy. The rules we gotta follow.
Real quick for this, I've got a question.
The phone, what's going on, everyone? How are you tonight? S, I am in Ohio, in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Cleveland, Ohio area. Sorry, just a moment. I'm gonna go live over here. Your stuff is refreshing, Luke. I appreciate that. Okay.
So, is this all good or no?
Yeah, it's submitted.
Okay, I'll wait a minute.
All right, it's going to be on the printer in Andrew's office. All right. G90, what's going on? You and Connor are the same age. Do you guys get along well? We are not actually. Colin's quite a bit younger than me, believe it or not. And yeah, Colin and I get along great. We're very close friends, actually. I mean, Colin is a superstar at what he does. He's awesome. I appreciate him very much. Yes, see, Nit, the GLE 450E does have the EV credit for leasing. Absolutely. It makes it a very compelling option on a lease, for sure. Dylan, I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Bradley needs a Brabus 6x6. Nice. All right, try now.
Thank you.
Need a 6x6. Who doesn't? I need a 6x6 as well. That would be sweet. Doug, did you get the British bow ties I sent? I have not received any British bow ties. I don't think. I don't know how recently you said they arrived last week Friday. Okay. Last Friday, as in like 3 days ago. I will have to check with the office. Nobody has brought them to me yet. Doug, 2015 ML 350, good used SUV. Yeah, I mean, I love the ML. I had a 2013 ML myself. Great vehicle, rock solid engines. That 3.5 liter V6 that they had for so long. What's a personal car you regret selling? Cole, I love that question. I had an E46 M3 that I really loved. It was a 2002. It was silver, like a brilliant silver. Had the 19s or the 19s. You could have the 18s or the 19s. SMG, great car. Just so sharp, so fun. I'm live, so what do you need? What's up?
We're still gonna work at Cardiff.
How are we?
Yep.
Okay. I work in indirect consumer financing. Could my skill set transfer into selling cars? Maybe, Julian. I'll tell you that car sales is harder than it looks. A lot of, not to make it sound like it's impossible, but it definitely is. Unlike in indirect lending, where you've got things that are coming to you that you have to work on, in car sales, there's a lot of things that you have to do on your own, and that doesn't translate well for everybody. What time do I get up? I get up at about 5:30 every morning. Why? Well, because I have to get up, I have to shower, get dressed, and then I got to get my kids up. I do breakfast with them. I got to get them ready, and I take them to school on my way to work. So, yeah.
But you just have the name.
My wife, my wife does pick up most days, so I do drop off, right? So my morning has to start very early for them and myself. But
Remember the time you stole the child carrier you brought to work?
yeah. You know what I installed into my car on yesterday?
Another child carrier?
A new car seat.
So you have
permanent.
2?
Now there's 2 car seats in there, so no more taking the infant seat back and forth and potentially forgetting it. All right, so I have to work a deal for Jared. I'm sure this is going to be
Come on, let's do it. It'll be easy.
interesting.
Be quick.
It'll be easy, huh?
Very good.
That's what you always say.
Oh.
Fumbleina.
Let me see this. Let me add some value here.
Jared, nobody wants to see you.
Yeah, come on. Let's show the people what they want.
All right.
Oh my God.
What can I do for you, sir?
There's a client in there. That's the name. It should be the most recent one. I just hit save. Oh, what up? What up? Wow, you just dropped us.
I did. I apologize.
Pay cash for a used car. Would you pay cash?
Or invest it. No, I would never pay cash for a car.
The client is watching right now. I don't think so.
It could be.
Ooh, why do you have this filter on? It looks like a DC movie.
That's whatever the standard filter is.
No. This guy needs help. Doug keeps something.
What are we doing here?
Sorry, I was distracted. There you go. Get just slightly to the side. 39 month lease. He's out in California. He inquired with us on accident. He built out a CLE 53,
Yeah.
and then ours was the only match. And this is an internet lead, and he said, "Oh, I didn't realize you guys were in California."
He's just looking for a cheapy car? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
This is probably like the least expensive CLE 53 build in the country, right?
Very well, maybe. All right, and I'm assuming we're shipping it to him.
Yes, that's the reason you're here.
Open or enclosed?
That's a tough question because the car should be enclosed. However, we're also looking at the least expensive AMG.
That doesn't mean that he doesn't want it to be nice when it gets there. I'm just going to put enclosed. We can always back it down. Any down payments he'd like to see in particular?
Let's keep it simple. Low ones, $2,500, $3,500. Payment should be like $1,200 a month right now.
On what term?
Well, he's open to 36 or 39.
Does he have fleet?
No.
All right. Easy enough.
See?
Let's see if you can accidentally sell a car since he accidentally sent in a lead, right?
Oh, Dude, that's adorable. I wish I was filming you. It would have been so much better.
Well, you do have the footage. So, all right. All right, there you are, my friend.
How did it go up?
Put $12 down in a Subway coupon. Okay, there you go. What car do I drive? I drive an EQS 450. EQS 450 SUV. Yeah, this is live. That is live. That was a live scenario there. Scott, hello, good to see you. How much do you think non-automotive sales and leadership experience translates to the franchise dealership world? I'd like to transition. I'm over 50 now and always wanted to be in the business. I think that leadership 100% translates. You know, leadership skills will always translate, I think, no matter what the industry is. And again, I've seen some people come from outside the industry with absolutely no experience. And by the way, you do not have to have experience in car sales to be successful. You have to have, there's certain kind of intangible qualities. You've got to be observational. You've got to be very curious. You've got to get to, you know, and by curiosity, getting to know people, asking a lot of questions to understand situations and understand what they're really saying despite what they might be actually saying to you. So hearing things well versus just hearing the words. And Cody, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And you also have to be able to deal with rejection, and that you can't let that linger. So that's where a lot of people fall short, is that rejection really weighs heavily on them, and then they become unmotivated and unable to. Yeah, Shane says grit. You got to have grit for sure. What's up?
Do you need brakes on a Tesla? Please be honest with me.
Not for a long time. Why?
What do you define a long time? It's got 59,000 miles on it. It's a 2020.
No.
No way. Okay.
I mean, not no way, but
He's like, dude, this is the cleanest Tesla ever. I'm like,
no,
I
you
promise.
shouldn't. No, you shouldn't need brakes. Okay.
Okay.
Travis, what is the average score to qualify for leases? It's not really about a credit score.
550.
It's, I mean, you want to be above 650 for sure, but again, it's so much more nuanced than that. Your score matters less than your overall credit profile. Cody, Tesla brakes are 100K minimum. I was just at service with mine. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some isolated incidences where people somehow cooked their EV brakes much sooner than that just because they weren't really using regen braking, but I think that that's probably the exception, not the rule for sure. Is door-to-door harder than car sales? Absolutely. I think door-to-door sales is easily the hardest type of sales in the world. What's some advice for a sales rep wanting to go into Highline and have an interview soon? The best advice that I can give you is that you need to be, they're going to ask you how you're going to build your book, and attacking the service department, the service waiting area is going to be your easiest way in. Those people that are in the service lounge, better than 50% chance they did not buy the car from your dealership that you'll be working at. They don't have any connection to the sales department at all, and nobody talks to those people. Nobody talks to those people. So if you're not doing that already now at the dealership that you work at, that is the easiest way that you can stand apart, because almost no one in this industry does that, and it is a game changer. So actually recently, the owner of our dealership, Terry Raffi, was in town last week, and he and I sat down, we did a little quick chat, did a little interview, and I'll post that soon. And I asked him, I said, if you were going to give advice to somebody that was going to get into the car business today on how to become successful quickly, what would you say to them? And his advice was, go and just talk to the people that are in for service. That's what he did. He just sort of stumbled into a car dealership, was given a job, and that's what he did. He just got to know everybody in service, and that's how he immediately built a book, because nobody ever talks to those people. Nobody ever talks to those people. Can you finance through a business without a guarantor? Probably not. Car loans through businesses without a guarantor are very, very difficult. Most banks will require 3 years of audited financial statements that show a minimum of $3 million in profit per year, which pretty much no business can do. So most businesses, I'm sure, a lot of businesses that we deal with, a lot of business owners, they make well north of that amount of money, but they, of course, their expenses take their profit way below the 3 million mark. So car loans with no guarantor, very, very difficult. I wouldn't go down that road, and especially if you're using that as a way to get around having good credit. Chris, what's going on, brother? Wild Bengal Cat. I bought a used Mercedes from my local dealer. They followed up a year later to see how it was. I requested a service, no response, and then my belt on the car blew. I thought it was odd. That is odd. I would like to think that was just kind of some crazy timing. I don't think there was anything nefarious there, but yeah, 3 product presentations a day, probably a good goal to have. But best advice for someone to buy a new car, Javier, best advice I can give you is obviously identify the brand, the car that you believe that you want, and then before you start shopping, identify the dealer that you want to do business with. Do some research, read online reviews, find a dealer that has thousands of reviews that all are generally positive, right? Not every review is going to be perfect. There's always people out there on the internet that are going to get upset and say something, but the biggest mistake I see people make is that they just find a car online that they love, or they have a local dealer that has the brand that they want, and they just blindly go into an interaction with that dealership, and then they have a very bad experience and they get frustrated. And the fact that those dealers keep getting rewarded with consumers that just aren't taking the time to weed them out is why they haven't gotten better, right? So we all have a responsibility as consumers as well to improve the experience that we're going to get by not rewarding bad dealers. So I haven't seen the new Lincoln Continental yet, so I don't really have an opinion on that. Grift, thoughts on the Geely 580 versus the 53 AMG? That's a cool comparison. Those two cars are very, very different. The Geely 580 is a very luxury vibe with the big V8 engine in there, and the Geely 53 AMG is more sporty, has the more aggressive body styling, has the inline 6. So the 580 actually has the bigger engine, but it's tuned to be a luxury vibe car, whereas the AMG is a lot more of a growler, so to speak. Matt has a 2024 EQS lease that has been in service for the same issue 4 times. I'm sorry to hear that, Matt. That definitely at this point should be a scenario where your dealership should be able to get Mercedes-Benz involved for some help. So, by the way, thank you for everyone hanging out tonight. I do appreciate it. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And please continue to hit the like button. That helps me out, get more people in here. Or if you're watching over on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you would. Really appreciate everybody's support. So, our auto group just sold a couple dealerships to a place in your neck of the woods, Land Rover, Jag, and Volvo to Germain Motors. That's okay, very interesting. So who do you work for? I actually got my start at Germain at Mercedes-Benz of Easton way back when. So John, love your content. My dad used to be a service manager at Great Lake Motors in Buffalo. That's awesome, John. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. I do appreciate it. How much do you think tariffs will impact car prices? I'm hoping that they really won't. I'm hoping that we'll get that issue solved before it becomes too big of a thing, but we'll see. So,
Can you do it for this GLS as well, for Joe?
what are we doing?
The black on red, 6.5% off, same structure.
This is a new car though, isn't it?
I am just doing what he's telling me. Trying to be a team player. Do I have the green check mark on this yet, by the way?
That's not a deal number. 115642.
Whatever the one we just did was, I'm sorry.
Christopher, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you very much. Cool Whip is in the chat, also from Ohio. Very nice.
6.5.
Sorry, everybody. Colin is back and needs assistance.
We all good on this? Are you still waiting? Our Apple Watch bands are matching.
Really? Yours is dark blue and mine's light blue.
Maybe I'm just maybe I'm colorblind.
All right, buddy. I'm almost done here. Sorry. Benz builds stuff in the States. Yes, they do. The GLE, GLS, EQS are made down in Alabama. EQE. Why is it? Oh, I gotta make this primary to. That's why it won't let me do it. F&I forms. Okay. Buyer's order. Just popping in to say I enjoy your videos. I'm not a Benz guy, but I dig the bow tie style, sir, and your overall vibe. Rick, I appreciate that. Thank you. And, you know, I'd like to think that it helps if you like Mercedes-Benz to watch my content, but you don't have. It's not required. Right? I think you can enjoy it without being a Benz person. All right, Colin, you are on the printer, buddy. Well, you can ask Andrew while you're in there. Let's see. It's approved.
3.
Angela Dilio?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Which one's he going with?
Julie 53.
Going for the big guy. Cool. Like it. And, oh, wait, Colin's got a deal too. Sorry, that's back-to-back deals to close out the day. I love it. Love it. Josh Madden. Younger brother of John Madden? We took in an Ineos a while back.
Ooh.
Average lease price on a GLE, you know, $1,000 to $1,300 depending on the term and the car itself. After a credit lease now, when can you reapply? Well, you can reapply immediately if the structure of the deal changes drastically. Otherwise, you're probably best to wait about 6 months. Baxter, no, we do not do any auction selling. We wholesale, you know, the cars that we have to various wholesalers that we have direct relationships to, most of them local, sometimes out of state, but we don't do any auction selling. Yes, Boo, I drive an EQS 450 SUV daily. And yes, we do buy Range Rovers. We buy everything. We'll buy any car, we'll take any car in on trade. Any reasons you would take a loan for a car when you can pay cash? Yes, Javier. Invest your cash, let it compound. It looks like you're a realtor, Javier, so you have to divest, you have to, you know, detach yourself from the mindset of real estate because cars don't appreciate like houses and investment properties. So you can turn your cash into something that becomes less valuable every day, or you can pay interest on it with future earnings and keep your money invested, let it grow, turn it into real estate, right? That would be a better way to spend it. But once it's gone, right? You turn it into a car, nothing, you can't do anything else with it except for watch it become worth less and less every day. So, yes, I mean, the Ineos is very cool, don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool car. Darren, thank you for watching from the UK, by the way. I appreciate that. It definitely drove, you know, for a modern take on kind of the old school Defender, I expected it to drive differently, and I get it. It's an off-road vehicle, but it was a little rough around the edges for sure. Adam, and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that, and it's my pleasure to represent the industry. Is it possible to get a lease on a C300 with AMG line in the 600s? Yeah, it's definitely possible. 100%. Can I trade you my 87 300E I hit a deer with, motor strong at 400K? You can. I don't think I'll be able to give you much for it, John, but I do appreciate the sentiment. I have had a Silverado for years, but I want a GLB now. Let's do it, John. Let's do it. And I'm always going to default to leasing in most cases. If you keep cars for 6 years or longer, definitely buy them. Don't lease in that scenario. But most people don't do that. In fact, very, very few do. They are usually the loudest people in my comment sections, but there aren't very many of them. Kurt, the football, the brown one is signed by Brian Brennan. This one is signed by Jim Tressel and Archie Griffin. So are you familiar with ATC there? ATC. I don't know, should I be? ATC, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm all right. You?
Good.
Is Matt still there?
He's here somewhere. Yeah. His coat's still there, so.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. He maybe went over to Porsche. Have you checked the conference room?
Let me go check real quick.
Could be eating. Yeah, good to see you, Trey. I enjoy learning sales techniques from you, Stephen from Nashville. Stephen, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. You know, any value that I can add is awesome. I really appreciate that. And let's see. Oh, Matthews, Mr. Matthews, thank you for the stars. I appreciate that. Tyler, I got offered trade-in value of $3,500 for an 05 CLK55 AMG with 40,000 miles. Is that a scam? Probably not. I mean, unfortunately, cars that get to be that old, they're just not worth that much anymore. That is the type of car where private sale might be a good option for you. Or I'm happy to put a number on it for you. That's a really cool car. An 04 or an 05 CLK55. I love that. Brandon, thank you for the lightning. I appreciate it. Joe, I bought my aunt a used car in Rhode Island, and the owner was a big fan of your channel. That's amazing. That's awesome. Was it a Mercedes dealer that you bought it from? With new tariffs facing the auto industry, how do you anticipate cost increases for MB? Well, again, I'm really hoping that we're going to avoid all of that and that it's going to be a whole big, bunch of nothing, but we'll see. Remains to be seen what that turns into. And Ricardo, yes, the Sealy 63 is finally confirmed. Finally. But it doesn't look like anything that we're going to get sooner than 2027. So hold, please, for just a moment. Oh, sorry about that. Michael, good to see you. Thank you for the roses. Michael found us on TikTok and bought a car from us all the way from down in Arkansas, if I remember. Jim, do you mind telling me what AMC is and what it stands for? I heard you mention that on the higher price cars. AMC, are you talking about AMG? Sorry, I'm not sure what AMC is. James, how are your relations with the garage workers? Maybe a video inside the garage one day. Love watching. Yeah, that would be a cool thing to do. I'd like to say that the ones that I know I get along with. I mean, they play a very important role here at the dealership. We can't do anything without them. So, obviously, I wish that I could spend more time back there with them. They're amazing. Technicians are hard to find these days, so the good ones are worth keeping. David, thanks for the content. Love watching. Currently in the process of driving the wheels off my 2014 E350. Best car I've ever had. David, appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying your E350. The 2014, that was a good year. First year of a mid-cycle facelift for that generation of E-Class. So I was a big fan of the styling on that car. And thank you again for everyone hanging out today. Probably go about another 10 minutes. And so if you keep hitting the like button and the thumbs up button, that really means a lot to me. Thank you. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow or a subscription if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And yeah, just thank you everyone for hanging out and for the support. And so Jim, yes, AMG stands for Alfrecht, Melker, and Grobespach. That's the two engineers in the town that they started in tuning Mercedes-Benzes to race. So Rich, thank you for the roses. I appreciate you. Michael, hello from the Sport Durst Mazda of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Michael, thanks for saying hi. Appreciate it. Mazda's doing really, really well right now. They've got an awesome product. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you saying that. That's awesome. Thoughts on the 2019 GLE 400? Cody, good car. That was an interesting vehicle. There were a lot of them out there because it was a run out of that generation of GLE. So right at the end, 2019 was the last year for the previous generation GLE, and right at the tail end, they had a bunch of the extra 6-cylinder engines laying around, so they stopped making 350s and made only 400s. So good car. Basically was anybody that got one got an engine upgrade over the normal GLE 350 for the last of those vehicles. And thank you, Lawlin Laws. Thank you for the hat. I appreciate that. Ford Pinto thoughts? I mean, legendary car. Jesse, how do you feel we will get out of this bend we're currently in? I don't say Highline, but we just. Trudy, thank you for the hug. I don't say Highline, but we've just seen so much negative equity, almost 70% of the deals. Yeah, unfortunately, this problem's not gonna go away anytime soon. We're gonna have a huge negative equity problem for a long time now because of how quickly the market, rose and then fell again during COVID and after. So a lot of it was people buying out leases and buying cars. They were in an effort to avoid a higher payment during the COVID times. People made a lot of really bad car buying decisions, that made sense from a payment perspective at the time, but were just not good choices. So a lot of people that historically lease bought cars because they were just so fixated on the payment, and now they're immediately in these horrific negative equity situations. So it's going to be a couple more years before we get that under control again, unfortunately. What is the best Mercedes EV to lease for my CEO? He doesn't like Tesla. I would have him look at the EQS. That's our top of the line model. I drive an EQS 450 SUV, and I love it. Been driving one for 3 years. Any chance we get negotiation videos? Scott, I'm starting to post a few of those. So starting to dip my toe into the water of a little bit different content than I've done historically. I mean, this channel started pretty much exclusively as behind the scenes content. So a salesperson walks into my office, they tell me about the deal that they're working. We kind of post that interaction in there. But now we're starting to get into a little bit more of that. Jamaican, thank you for the gift. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Do you anticipate the upcoming all-new GLE will have the high-end 3D surround option as the GLS does? I hope it does. That would be cool. I don't see any sometimes they don't include things on one model that you would expect them to potentially do, but I would say there's at least a good chance that could happen. But this will not be, the upcoming changes to the GLE and the GLS, which again I'm not anticipating until sometime next year, will be a refresh, not a full redesign. So we'll see, but I would love if they have the upgraded sound system in there. Anuj, what is the current MSD situation? So Mercedes-Benz at the beginning of last year nerfed the benefit of MSDs. They almost cut it in half. So I'll be honest with you, I don't see the value there anymore. It's a lot of money to part with up front for only 40 basis points is as low as you can drop it, but the cost involved is the same as it was before. So it used to be 70 basis points, now it's 40. To me, I just don't see the value with parting with that much money to drop your money factor by 40 basis points. Carol's never met anything worse than a Benz except maybe this guy. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry that you don't like me or the product, but I understand. Cars are subjective and so are people. But I do appreciate you hanging out in the live for a little bit today. So average ownership 5.6 years versus warranty doesn't match that length. I might have missed what that part was, what you were talking about there. Are you guys prepared for tariffs? I mean, we're not really preparing outside of just trying to sell as many cars as we can while we can. David, hello, I left a message. David from Florida, EQ and EQS is scrapped. Is that true? Well, yes, technically, but basically all that means is that the models are going to go away in name. And Mercedes-Benz's new strategy with the new generation is going to be they're going to just merge it with the ICE cars. So it'll now be just an E-Class electric and an S-Class electric. So it's what I think that Mercedes-Benz should have done from the beginning. Jamaican, thank you again. Very kind of you. And S650 Maybach or S580? Well, you got to go with the S650 to get the V12, right? Get the V12 just because you can. Thank you for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. Does Mercedes-Benz have multiple production plants in different countries? Yes, there's production plants all over the world. There's US, Germany, South Africa, all over the place. Don, I enjoyed your conversation with Jared about the money factor. Well, thank you for watching, Don. Yeah, what that conversation really was meant to be was just pattern recognition. And, again, there's nothing wrong with a consumer asking about money factors. Obviously that is a consumer that is more educated than the average person that we're talking to just about the mechanics of a lease. But, I've been doing this long enough to know that anybody that begins a conversation asking about the money factor is a very analytical type person, and they are just, price is all that matters to them. They do not care really about the relationship. They don't care about where they buy the car. They're just looking for the deal. And that's fine. That's fine. But you have to know what kind of person you're talking with at the beginning of an interaction. So that's kind of what I was pointing out to Jared in that video was when somebody is leading with a money factor discussion, they are probably not going to buy the car that we're talking about in this scenario, which is a GLS 63.
You're like, what?
Euphoria, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you for extending your subscription. You're one of the OGs, and I appreciate you for that. What is the lease price for the E-Class? Anna, those are starting to come down. We have some demos that are nice in the. Well, let me look. Where are these E-Classes getting down to? Some E-Class demos here. Let me, instead of guessing, I will tell you. David, look forward to it. We'd love to chat with you tomorrow. All right, so I have 5 E-Class demos, 2024 E-Classes, and this is granted local here in Cleveland, but with about $2,000 a month at signing. They're about $839 a month. Now that's with all Ohio taxes and fees included on a 10,000 mile lease. Actually, let me go to 39 months. I think we have a 39-month lease special. Yeah, we do. So now I'm at $789 or $2K at signing, and that includes making your first payment. So, you know, these are E-Class demos, deeply discounted, very compelling deals, for sure. So it's 7 o'clock, so it's time for me to wrap up for the evening, but I do appreciate everyone hanging out. Thank you for being here. Means a lot. Thank you for your support. Euphoria, great to see you as always. Thank you for the tiny dinies. And if you're not following or subscribed already, this is my, once more, a humble request to please follow and subscribe. I really do appreciate all of the support. It means the world to me. And thank you for hanging out with me and asking questions in these live sessions. I hope that you all get some value out of this. And yeah, just having a lot of fun. Trudy, thank you for the tiny dinies as well. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, so until